So, hello friends! Today I'm gonna tell you about how I started homeschooling. Okay, homeschooling started all when I was with my toddler of 2 years old, 3 years old, and my baby newborn around 1 year, around 9 months. And then I met this group of moms that I see that they care a lot more for their kids. They really care for their kids. And I was wondering, how do they do it? And they are still fine. They are still living. That's what was my first concern. But they can do it. Is that they really care for their kids. I mean, they really care. They are not just wondering to spend the time and that's it. They were looking for little things that, oh, my kid needs this, and I'm working on this time. That's why we are working and, I don't know, improve this skill. And I was, oh, interesting. And they treated their kids like people. Because usually when I met moms, they treat their kids like little tiny humans with no emotions. I could say I'm talking over talking. Well, and then they told me that they can school their kids, homeschool their kids, and I was wondering how can they do it? Can they? Is this possible? Is this a possible thing? Because for me it was impossible, right? It's like who could do that? Who could spend that whole time with their kids and no start blaming or complaining about it? But they were just fine, just happy doing it and living that, like going to forest, going for hikings, having a good life, a good kid-parent relationship with no problem, not trying to escape from them. Instead, they were looking for spending time with them. That was so interesting for me. That was so awesome because all regular parents that I met before, they were looking to get away from their kids instead of the opposite, spending time with them. And then it was 2 years old, and then I was, thinking the idea: is that real? Is it affordable? Is it sustainable for us, for my family? I don't think so. I wasn't that mom because I was thinking that, well, right, I need to work someday, no, in a faraway day. I need to work, for example, in that moment, that year, when my 3 years old went to school, I was supposed to work, and then I leave the other kid in daycare, the 1 year old, in that moment. But I wasn't able to do it because who could let a 1 year old in a daycare? For me, that's impossible because that's too baby, too small, too inoffensive. And I said, I gotta try something else. If I'm gonna stick at home, I'm gonna have my two babies with me, even though my 3 years old. And then I say, okay, let's give it a try. My husband say, okay, I think you can try it, right? Why not? Let's try this summer. When this year come, and we say, okay, it's moment for my 4 years old to get to pre-K. Also, pre-K is free here in Georgia, so why not try it? We should try pre-K. But then I started, what are the best options around us? Is there a good daycare? What a good pre-K? I investigate a little bit more about the studies, about them, about the grades, about the qualifications of the schools, and I see that all qualifications, all the grades, all the scores for the schools around me are terrible. And I say, okay, it must be my area, my fault, right? And then I find another areas, and it was the same, and they had super bad reviews. And I asked some parents of the school I was trying to get into, it was bad. Then I asked my friends, my homeschooling friends, why did you start homeschooling? And many of them, they say, because I was a teacher and I know how a teacher in a public school is, and I don't want that for my kids. And I say, okay, that's hard. And then, well, so I gotta go for a private school, and then I investigate more about it, and then I see that private schools are even worse. Well, it might be in my area. I don't say all areas are the same, but in my area. And then I saw a good, relatively good school. And I asked, because I have many friends, and I asked for them, oh, you know about the school? And they say, yeah, actually, one friend of us works there. And I say, what friend? The friend who last time locked their kids in the bathroom, remember? And I say, oh, that friend. And that friend is really not a kid people, to be honest. And I said, how is she working there? And she said, oh, I don't know, she's just working there. And I said, okay, I think that's not the kind of teacher I want for my kid. And of course, I don't need to work, but I wanted to work. So I was thinking, is it worth it to work, to miss that little dream that work, and leaving my kid with that person that I know doesn't love my kid? Okay, let's try homeschool then. We started summer, and in summer we did this little book. It's a book that we got it from Costco, and it's just letters like this. Look this. It's just letters like this. You do letters and you do the beginning sounds, and yeah, that's a simple step. You do the letter, you do the writing letter. But it wasn't enough for Lila, for my 3 years old. Oh, in that one, 4 years old. It wasn't enough. She wanted more. So I said, why don't I look for some free printables on the internet? Why not, right? And then I saw those printables. And Lila loved it. Look those dots. We did this. And we did again this. Lila loved this part when you can get the first sound of the word. For example, astronaut. And just do the sound with letter A. And you can practice. She did that online here. And that's it for letter A. You do this for letter A, this for letter A, this for letter A, and Lila love it. That was so easy to do. That was just A. And for B, you do the same. See, the same. The same. Yep. And we did that. We just did that. And that was enough for Lila to learn some letters when she didn't know any letter to that age, to summer. And my husband said, oh wow, it looks like you can do it. And I say, of course can do it. I was so excited that I could teach her that ABCs. I was so excited. And I did it. Then we started there. That was our starting point. That was our starting point. Then we got more curriculums and all the stuff going and all the trouble. But it was hard to decide that I won't let my kids, even though Leah takes some extracurriculars. That's how we say it, that she does ballet, she does taekwondo, she does other disciplines, so she can get more time for sports and also play dates, and she goes to museums. So we try to have a balance there, but we are just starting. It's not that end. It's just a start, but that's how we start. So tell me more. How did you do it? Because I am always asking, how did you do it? How are you doing? How do you feel about this? Because it's new. It's a real new point. Tell me more. Please leave me a comment. How are you doing? How did you start?